A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Presentation.
Welcome high atop my old stomping grounds, Chicagoland Speedway, round number 12 of the second season of 2025 for the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series. Welcome to Joliet. It's Tommy Cook and Joliet Joshua Motichek here this evening. Welcome back, partner, and happy Leif Erikson Day as well.
Glad to be back. I think this is the first unofficial nickname I have been given on the channel, actually.
Well, wear it with pride here. Welcome to the homeland for Team 200 and Turn 200 here at Chicagoland Speedway. Should be a really interesting night tonight with the mile and a half, high temperatures out on the track. Not a cloud in the sky as we take a look at the point standings coming into tonight. Now, you'll notice a little bit of color, a little bit of gold up on the board. These are the drivers that are inside the top 16 in points that have won a race. A little bit of criteria that we did not realize was part of the game. Headed into the postseason, so Dakota Floyd, Greg Mull, Justin Michaels, Scott Patton have met the criteria to be locked into the chase as of now. James Lehman also with a win, but has not started enough races this season to be officially eligible. But he is officially back on the graphic in 16th in the standings. But a lot of names in white that could perform themselves into an official postseason berth this evening.
Yeah, definitely going to be interesting as we're now on the backside of the regular season. Definitely going to be interesting to see with this new information what this chase looks like. I think it's going to be a little bit unique.
It definitely could be pretty unique here as we get ready to roll. Qualifying is officially underway, and it's always one-lap qualifying here in the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series. As soon as we can try and find somebody out there on the track. Thank goodness, Scott Patton out there. Made me realize I did not pull up my trading paints. So as we sit and wait for Scott Patton to roll onto the speedway, let's go with Trent Drum. Had a rough week at Atlanta last week, but, a lot of people could say that they kind of had a rough week last week at Atlanta, as, yes, that is still Trent Drum there, as the paints start to load in. Drum will post the 11th quickest time, a little bit over 30 drivers in the session currently. As one driver that made an immediate splash in the CNC Home Designs Truck Series last week, Mason Sweet, runner-up in his debut. And he is officially now on the clock here at Chicagoland. Of course, this is a quote-unquote cookie-cutter circuit. But what separates Chicagoland Speedway outside of some pretty old asphalt at this point is that slightly curved back straightaway. All the best tracks in Illinois have a little bit of a bend down the backstretch. So you're almost turning all the way around the circuit here, as Mason Sweet will go P6 on his lap. And we go to the driver now, second in the standings coming into tonight. Made his Booth 200 commentary debut on Tuesday for quite the race. We'll just put it that way. Nathan Carroll is on the clock here at Chicagoland. How do you feel about Tuesday night?
I would like to leave my condolences with the family of Andy Poliski.
I don't think he was the only one. Steve Roman straight up got impaled as well.
Well, I was right there behind Andy when we barreled in there. So
Jack Watts was in that melee as well. Carroll's lap, he'll go P4. Nice lap for Nathan Carroll. Yeah, there was I don't know who made it out of that one, but I could tell you who didn't. That's for sure. Oh man! Hello to the Motichek gang in the chat as always. Hello to anybody that's hanging out with us here this evening. James Lehman, a 1.5 mile winner this season. Got himself a good finish last week at Atlanta despite some late race chaos. Lehman to the stripe is the 26th driver to time in, and Lehman will go to the top of the heap. P1 for Lehman. At a track that he didn't sound overly confident at, but, this track, I think, we always talk about Chicagoland being flat out for a while, and certainly it's an enticing one to keep your foot in the gas, but man, this track is a tire eater.
Yeah, it definitely does no mercy at all whatsoever.
Certainly no mercy, and that's what these drivers will be up against here momentarily at Chicagoland Speedway as qualifying has concluded, and we will roll into the starting grid as it is James Lehman with his first pole of the season, 9th pole of his Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series career tonight at Chicagoland, with Justin Michael on the outside pole, Seth Foudy starting exactly where he finished last week at Atlanta in the 3rd position. Greg Mull, winner at Kentucky last time out on the 1.5 mile. He'll line up on the outside of row number 2. Nathan Carroll and Brandon Groover, 2 drivers above the cut line. Carroll second in the standings. Groover just inside of the top 10 there. He will roll off from 6. Jared Wishon is on a roll. Had a late start to the season, but he's well above the cut line now, starting in 7th. Scott Patton, 3 finishes in a row of 30th place or worse. He needs a big bounce back tonight. He'll look to do so from the outside of row 4. Matt Sisler back in the lineup for the first time in a number of weeks. He'll start to the inside of last week's debut runner-up finisher Mason Sweet, who will round out your top 10. Gino Morrow is a debuter here this evening. Gino lines up in 11th to the inside of Rob Haynes. Joshua Fracker and Omar Rodriguez Jr. then on row number 7. Alex Halland and Nick Pena on row number 8. Parker Donaldson is back tonight, starting in 17th to the inside of Trent Drum. And 18th, Chris Voiles and Kerry Cleaver, your top 20. The People's Champ Bill Paradise in 21st to the inside of Billy Bumgardner. Tyler Granat and Chris Sargent on row 12. It's Logan Murray and Stove Price Jr. back for the first time in a couple weeks in the 29 truck, starting in 26. Heath Smith got his first top 10 of the season last week. He'll start in 27th to the inside of Jack Watts. Mike Milfeld Jr., Zachary Gerver, and Michael Van, 31 drivers here at Chicagoland this evening. There are a handful of drivers who are going to the back of this field for incidents caused and incidents unclaimed from last week at a hectic Atlanta 22. So this running order will change just a little bit as the drivers roll off the starting grid. It is a beautiful day here in Joliet, Illinois. The track temperature is coming down as well, 105 degrees. They were practicing in the mid-100 teens out there on this white asphalt, as Mr. Joshua Motichek will clue us in as to what the goings-on here are today in Chicagoland.
Well, the goings-on are back to normal this week after Watkins Glen and Atlanta had a few interesting, unique twists. But we are back to normal, so 3 extra sets of tires, no fast repairs. The incident limits stand 16 incidents is a drive-through, 21 is a disqualification. 70% fuel. Should put the fuel window around lap 32, right after the stage break. 100 laps is the full distance, so we will have that one mandatory stage break caution at the completion of lap 30. So should be interesting. Tires will go away very quickly. Lots of different lines to choose from here. I mean, this is one of my favorites for sure.
It's going to be a blast here tonight at Chicagoland as we get ready to go. In Joliet, we're underway.
Pretty even getaway there out front.
Lehman with the hole shot. Oh, as there goes Nathan Carroll! Into the wall hard, still green. But that is him and Brandon Groover both with big-time problems. And as Carroll comes to a stop, I would imagine the caution might come out. It hasn't yet. And Carroll's race is over. As they continue to race on, there's no reason that should not have brought out a caution. Got to make you wonder. We're nearly 3 wide for the race lead in the meantime. That is incredibly disappointing. And we'll take a look at that at our first opportunity here. But these drivers up front are going to be slicing and dicing until potentially another incident might actually trigger the caution. Tyler Granat has come down pit road as a result of that. Didn't even get a chance to say hello to the Carrolls. I would imagine they're probably not going to be hanging around much longer. So sorry to Lisa and Danielle. Promise we'll get a replay of that here in just a moment. Lehman, meanwhile, door-to-door with Greg Mall for the lead as Michael and Foudy have backed the pace up. Trying to save a little rubber.
A little bit loose down into the corner. It's going to lose a little bit of ground. Super difficult to get into the corner here. Up a little bit higher. You really have to play your throttle and cruise in the brake just a little bit, just right.
Mall has a win here with the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series, a photo finish back in season number 1, or the revival season, if you will. Justin Michael, Scott Patton, Matt Sisler, Seth Foudy all battling for position. About a second and a half behind. They're spread out 2 and 3 wide, but they've been side by side for the lead for the last 4 laps, and contact between Lehman and Mall. As Lehman trying to take the short way around. There's Tyler Granat pulling back onto the track in front of the leaders. 3 wide for just a blip down the curved back straightaway, and they're still side by side for the top spot.
Lehman down onto the apron around the front stretch.
I mean, they almost look like slot cars.
Oh, Lehman got a little free off the corner, but he was able to soak up, and he's going to fall in line now.
So Greg Mall with the lead outright. Let's take a look at, I would imagine this is just going to be cold tires here for Nathan Carroll. Yeah, Carroll. I mean, it's a little choppy there down on the bottom of the track, but I mean, that is just textbook cold tires. Carroll's race is over. Groover will have damage, but should be okay. He'll be looking for the stage caution here. I just can't believe that didn't bring out the yellow. As Lehman now going to go for it. Back to the inside of Mall. Maybe try and look for a little slider here.
It's done by a mile there.
So Lehman
going to have the slingshot back around the outside, though. Mall definitely has his own preferred line up there up top.
Just a quick peek back to third as they are packed up, and Nick Pena is charging through the field wheel to wheel with Justin Michael here. As now Lehman and Mall again, bumper to bumper.
Pena now going to take that third position. Jared Wishon looking to follow right behind him.
Pena's race was not particularly inspiring last week compared to the folks that he debuted with, finished in 25th, got caught up in some early accidents. already off to a much better start tonight. Up 13 spots. A couple of those were from penalties, but still, he has been moving and shaking here early. Jared Wishon going to go to his outside as Michael Foudy and Patton continuing to hold position. Matt Sisler and Gino Morrow and Alex Howland in this group as well. 3rd to 10th, all right here together. As there's Nathan in the chat. Yeah, it's a bummer.
Gino Morrow slips right across the nose of the 46 of Pat, and
a little bit of separation between the top two now, about 0.4 of a second from Lehman back to Mall. As we're riding on board with Gino Morrow going to the inside of Justin Michael to pick up 6th. Michael knows the deal here at Chicagoland. He's won here with Truck 200. So just conserving a little tire. He's only 3.5 seconds behind the race leader as he lets Scott Patton go through. I'd imagine at some point he'll start to turn it on here. And at least charge back up towards the front of this line. He's keeping everyone pretty well in touch from 3rd onward. Wishon with a little bit of separation as Foudy now is back on the charge, and Pena into the Brandt signage there on the outside wall. And that will allow Gino Morrow to get through. Morrow in the 71, up to 5th.
briefly going to look 3 wide as Pena gets into the outside wall ever so slightly.
You would think with the backstretch kind of curving the way that it does that you'd have a little bit more room to push it off of turn number 2. That is not necessarily the case.
That wall comes up fast.
Yes, it does. But the nice thing is they make it nice and bright and red. Don't hit this. Courtesy of Brandt Professional Agriculture. Yeah, I guess. I guess it does. Because people do it all the time. Pat with a run to the inside of Morrow, but can't quite make anything happen. As just as quickly as Nick Pena drove up through the top 5, he is now slipping back almost out of the top 10. He's to the outside of Alex Howland, doing a nice job tonight. Joshua Fracker and Parker Donaldson not too terribly far behind.
The further along we get, the more spread out we do get. However, Wishon is making up time on your lead too.
And Patton's still pushing the issue here. Justin Michael is starting to pick up his lap times. As Patton shoving a little dirty air onto the rear spoiler of Gino Morrow. Breaks him loose, and here goes Patton to the inside of the 71. And Patton with a little short sliders. There's one in the dirt down the front stretch. Not 100% sure who that was. It might be Greg Mall. Not 100% sure. That was strange.
Sure, the only person slow that I can find is Nathan Carroll rejoining the track after repairing his damage.
Yeah, it was an 8.5 minute pit stop there for Carroll. That's rough. Still out there trying to get as many points as possible, though, as Michael gets to the underneath of Patton. And Justin Michael will take the 5th position back. Michael only 2.8 seconds behind with 12 to go in the stage. Not impossible. Michael's done it before. Next up will be Seth Foudy in 4th. Let's go back to the battle for 10th. Alex Howland through on Nick Pena, but then passed by Joshua Fracker. Fracker with a couple of down weeks. Back to his usual form thus far tonight. And up to the 9th position. Meanwhile, here's Michael to the inside of Foudy. And trying to pull that slider. Can't quite get it done. Foudy hanging on the right rear quarter panel here into 1.
Justin Michael, a known tire saver, as Foudy is way loose off the corner. Michael, that time around, looking at about half a second faster than Greg Mall and James Lehman.
Here is Wishon now to the inside of Greg Mall for 2nd, and they've got Justin Michael right behind him. Michael's gotten to the lead is only a 2.5. I mean, he is blitzing through the field here.
He's going to cut down. Going to look 3 wide down the backstretch.
3 wide into turn number 3. This for the 2nd position. Michael looking for a little 2-for-1 special. Oh, Wishon is loose. Mall is loose, and Michael is clear. Wishon is clear. So it'll be nothing netted for Wishon. -2 for Mall and +2 for Michael. As Mall is fighting the right rear on this truck, he is hanging it out. And might continue to tumble through the order here as he's got Foudy and Patton lined up. So for Justin Michael now, it is only 1 second. I mean, this is textbook 87 here.
Still, almost half a second faster that time by than your leader. And he's pulling Jared Wishon right along with him as well.
Yeah, Wishon has decent pace here. Remember how this race started with James Lehman. I mean, side by side with Greg Mall for pretty much 6 straight laps. You know, those two ran each other pretty hard. And Michael didn't have any part of that, and now is reaping the rewards as Lehman is into the wall down the backstretch. And now it's inside a half a second.
Huge time cut there. Down to a truck length. 4 laps to go at the line.
Michael going to peek down low. This could very well be the lap that he gets control of this race for the first time. Be the 3rd different leader in this opening stage. Boy, dead heat at the stripe, but certainly advantage Michael here. He's right where he wants to be. Tight to the door.
Off the corner.
Lehman's certainly going to make him work for it. These two have always raced hard, but they've raced each other pretty hard this season. Especially thinking back to our season opener in Phoenix, where it did not end well for either of them.
Lehman now trying to hug down as he's loose off the exit, still neck and neck.
Lehman knows his advantage here is trying to get Justin Michael's right rear tire hot. That's about the only scenario in which Michael does not excel. Well, Michael will body up if he has to. Lehman doing all he can to keep Michael within side draft range here. 2 to go in the stage. You get the feeling now that maybe Lehman was goading Michael into a battle here and trying to save a little tire himself. Jared Wishon not too far behind if these two really get to battle in here for the stage win. Through the bumps and the ridges and valleys there in turns 3 and 4. Both drivers working the wheel. 1 to go in the stage, and they're still side by side.
Lehman continuing to hold Michael down. Michael getting a little loose.
Lehman getting a little loose up there by the wall as well. Wheel to wheel, coming for the stage win. Michael starts to pull ahead down low. Lehman trying to combat it with a little momentum. To the stripe they go. Michael's got it. Michael by a nose over Lehman. Wishon, Patton, Foudy, the top 5. Marrow, Mall, Sisler, Fracker, Howland, the top 10. That's Chicagoland, baby.
Who wouldn't like this track?
Well, I've got one driver in mind right now. But outside of him, I'm not sure. NASCAR for 5 years. It's all right. We're fixing that. We're fixing the rest of the problems of the world in 2026 when NASCAR comes to town with more horsepower and full points season. Anyway, brother, here's pit stops. Justin Michael leading him down. Can't imagine anybody's going to roll the dice here and stay out on 30 lap old tires. We're getting close to the fuel number anyway, within a lap or two. So here comes Justin Michael. And Michael will win the race off. Lehman narrowly beating Wishon out for second. Wishon in third, Foudy fourth, Patton fifth. From the looks of it. And Patton actually pulling ahead. He might have just eked it out there. So Patton fourth, Foudy fifth. Pretty much exactly how they came off of, or came onto pit road is how they are going to exit. Nothing too catastrophic there. Big movers through the field right now. Plus 15 for Heath Smith, up to 12th. Plus 15 for Mike Milfelt Jr., up to 14th. Stove Price Jr., Zachary Groover, both plus 11. Jack Watts, plus 10.
Greg Mall going to be back down pit road.
Very interesting here. Maybe trying to think about the fuel game. You know, we talked a little bit about running around 30 laps. 32, 33. You know, if you break this race into thirds, you're 1 lap short. And it could very well go green from here on out. Maul's been on the wrong end of the fuel strategy before, so we'll see if this 1 lap top-off is going to make the difference here. You got Maul with a big enough cushion as well that he can play ball a little bit.
One additional cushion that he may have now If we do have a caution as people are going through green flag pit stops, he doesn't have to come in quite as soon as everyone else. So maybe looking to leapfrog and play off of a possible caution through pit stops.
Everything other than the track position right now looking up for Maul as we are tight to the fuel number here if it were to go green from here on out. Lap 34 on the board this time. Michael and Lehman will get right back to battling up front. Back underway.
Michael with a beautiful jump on that restart. Lehman looking to hold second place. As Wishon being pushed by Foudy. Now underneath for that second place position.
Man, Wishon has been on a roll of late, and he goes side by side with Lehman here for second. Patton is leading quite the gaggle behind him.
Going to be 3 wide a little bit further back in the top 15. Cracker, Haynes, Stove Price Jr. Oh, very tight off the corner.
A lot happening all through this field as everybody tries to get in position. Justin Michael dropping back now. Lehman the leader. Wishon and Michael. Again, Gino Mauro and Mason Sweet are making the early inroads, trying to get that early track position. If you can push hard for the first couple laps and maybe get yourself established at the front of the field, try and take it a little bit easier in the middle part of the run. See where that puts you when it's time to push again late.
When Venom ran here last season, I really found comfortability running right where Gino Mauro is early in the stint, around that third lane off the bottom. Then once the tires wear and you start having to lift again, moving all the way down to the bottom. Mauro now into second place. Wishon still holding third.
Gino doing a good job here. Steve Price Jr. doing a good job as well. This is a pass to keep him plus 19. As he will try and get underneath of Justin Michael, make that a plus 20. And Michael employing the early strategy of just laying back, saving these tires. Others going with him as well look to be Seth Foudy and Scott Patton. Foudy back to 9th, Patton back in 14th. It's like, go ahead, boys. Go use your stuff up, and you'll know where to find me at the end of the run.
Patton definitely deciding to do things a little bit differently after a whole string of less than 30th races.
Yeah, 30th, DNS, 34th, 35th. Those are the last 4 race weeks for Scott Patton. It has been incredibly rough. So Patton, I'm sure, just wants to see the checkered flag tonight. But they are 3 wide behind him. Howland to the inside of Watts and Maul. Remember, Maul came in and topped off. But that put him firmly in the hornet's nest. He was trying to get himself out of it. I mean, it almost looks like Papyrus AI fanned out unrealistically 2 and 3 wide, but that's just how it is. Justin Michaels turned it on just enough to hang in front of Stove Price Jr. here. as Maul is out of the mess.
Maul definitely using his lap times around the wall to his advantage while he can. Now going to pass Patton for that top 15 position.
On board with Stove Price, there's Justin Michael in 6th. It's Price, I mean, right there behind Justin Michael. That's, you know, it's going to heat these front tires up. You're already going to heat the rear tires up. It's a question of would you rather be tight or rather be loose? I think Price is sort of making his bed here, sticking right behind Justin Michael and applying so much pressure here.
Track like Chicagoland, with the way that you have to enter these corners, I would much rather be loose than tight.
That's my general rule of thumb. There is such thing as too loose, and you can do it here at Chicagoland. Gap up to the lead for these two is about 4.5 seconds. James Lehman continues to show the way. That's his biggest lead to Justin Michael at any point throughout the course of the evening. As they continue to race 3 wide behind them. Foudy in the middle of Rodriguez to his outside and Sisler to his inside. Heath Smith there in the fray. And Mason Sweet into the wall in 1 and 2, and that is going to drop him ever so slightly towards Rob Haynes, as well as Justin Michael and Stove Price Jr. Like Sweet is trying to run the Larson-Reddick line up top. It's a little bumpy up there. You can find your way into the wall pretty easily.
There's the wall again for Morrow, or excuse me, for Sweet. Now we talk about this backstretch wall being curved. If you're running the wall, you looking to run all the way around the backstretch, or do you want to cut it off a little bit?
I usually put an invisible straight wall in the crook there and try and cut through the curve a little bit. Nothing crazy, but just a little bit. We'll see what Wishon does here as he starts to pull up on Gino Morrow. They're definitely taking a little bit more of the curve than I normally do. But these guys are also battling for second, and I never do that, so, you know.
Taking a quick peek at the track temperature, 104, only dropped 1 degree. So really no change in the weather conditions since the drop of the green.
Here's Wishon taking a crack at the inside of Gino Morrow.
Wishon clear for a moment. Morrow gonna track down the track with him. And Wishon will take that position.
Across halfway at the stripe this time. Nathan Carroll is, I believe, 17 laps down. Just came down for a pit stop under green. But he has passed Tyler Granat and is a handful of laps away from passing Michael Van, who looks to have called it a night. Meanwhile, we'll jump back to Justin Michael, who just got through on Mason Sweet. Now Stove Price will be looking to do the same here. Sweet starting to pay the piper a little bit for an early run through the field on the restart. And the other line of thinking here for Sweet could be to pick off an early caution, get yourself out of trouble, get a little bit of clean racetrack, and then if we get a caution, say, I don't know, 10 laps into the run, you can pit from the top 5 instead of outside the top 10. The bad news is we're
barely grabbed the cushion there. Or, excuse me, the apron.
the inside berm here at Chicagoland.
You know what's on my mind.
Mm-hmm. Hey, there's a Route 66 Speedway around here somewhere. I think one of the adjacent properties. A nice half-mile dirt oval. Michael, meanwhile, he is continuing to chip away, not just at James Lehman at the front of this field, but now on Gino Mauro. Michael to the inside of the 71.
Door to door. Down into the corner. Michael gonna have the advantage.
And Justin Michael is clear. Gap is now 3.5 seconds from Michael to the race lead, with Jared Wishon firmly in the middle of the two parties. James Lehman still up front. So pit stops on lap 30, as I think Nick Pena has had a problem, and indeed he has. He is off in the grass on the front stretch. Still green. Pena was running well. So not sure what happened there. Yeah, pit stops on lap 30. So in theory, pit stops again in the next 5 to 10 for all these drivers. A couple of caution laps in there as well, but I mean we're getting close.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking around the 10 mark for sure, but it's coming faster than you'd think.
Greg Mall, remember, came in under caution and topped off. He was the only one. He's worked his way up to 14th, but is still right in the thick of the most congested part of the running order here. Got a nice little conga line from Mason Sweet on back. Sweet, Haynes, Foudy, Sisler, Patton, Smith. As Foudy is through on Rob Haynes. And Justin Michael now is catching Jared Wishon at a clip.
Michael catching Wishon, both of them slowly closing that gap down to Lehman.
Nick Pena has come down pit road. Could be what put him in the grass in the first place. He was trying to snipe an early stop. Oh, and Wishon cutting the gas. Letting Justin Michael through and coasting. So Michael through to second. Now only 2.5 seconds behind James Lehman.
Definitely one thing to bring up here. Wishon killing the engine, rolling down into the corners.
Okay. Little fuel chess. You know I love it. Nobody does it better here than Max V on a Thursday night other than maybe Steve Roman. Been a while since we've had a classic 00 fuel run. We'll have to change that here one of these weeks. Steve Price Jr. has caught Gino Mauro. And Mason Sweet has got them all fanned out behind him. Seth Foudy's through on the 11. Matt Sisler and Scott Patton were side by side and still are. They might come out 3 wide. Sweet gets away to avoid that fate.
Man, Sweet looking like he is at Eldora.
He has been up on that wall all run. You're right. That is snap hooking. It's me off the tee box, baby. That thing is hooking hard. Logan A. Murray's going to come down pit road from a little bit down in the running order, but I think it's telling me that we are right on the number here. Here's Price to the inside of Morrow for 4th. Price having a really good night. I mean, he's had top 5 speed at a couple races this season, but man, he's had to come from way downtown to get himself in this position. Plus 21. Maybe plus 22 if he could get through on the 71. So no more takers after Murray yet. We'll see if that changes.
Yeah, still thinking a little bit of a stretch to make it from here on fuel.
Definitely want to be eyeing lap 67. If you're going to make it. Oh, caution is out as Matt Sisler has had an issue. Sisler sliding through the grass down the backstretch. Well, that changes everything. Everybody guaranteed a calm set of pit stops, but I think it's... Ah, man, that's right on the fuel number. That is going to be tight. Sisler battling with Scott Patton just mere moments ago, and it does look like they're going to get tangled up here down the backstretch. So the blimp cam is right up against the wall, and so is the chopper cam. See if we can get a better look on a different blimp. Oh, boy, that is up close and personal. And also can't really tell what's going on. Let's back it up. There we go with the chopper cam. So here's Patton on the inside. Again, this curved backstretch. Sisler is moving down. Patton is not moving at all. Now Patton is moving down to try and keep the 93 off. And I can't believe, you know, this probably should be a caution. It was people battling inside the top 10. I can't believe that triggered a caution. But Nathan Carroll's didn't. Carroll literally crashed in front of the whole field and stopped on the track, and we stayed green. Again, they don't throw manual cautions here except for the stage in Max V. Just doesn't make sense why the auto caution wouldn't trigger for that. But regardless, pit stops, as you would imagine, everybody is in. And the race-off goes to James Lehman. Ooh, Wishon might have got Justin Michael. I think he did. Michael out 3rd. Stove Price Jr. out 4th. Gino Mero in 5th.
Speedy pit stop for Wishon.
You know, if he was clutching and coasting, he could take just even a nanosecond less fuel than Justin Michael. And that's all it would take for him to just barely eke out Michael at the stripe there. We didn't hear anybody else that I could tell clutching and coasting. I think it was just Jared Wishon. Drivers getting laps back. That's Nathan Carroll, I do believe, and Nick Pena. Go ahead.
I was going to say, best that I could tell, it was only Wishon.
So now, oh boy. This is, I'm not so sure that we have enough fuel to go to the end. It's going to be, I think it's going to be close. I'm not saying a hard no, and I'm definitely not saying a hard yes. It's a definite maybe. We might possibly have enough to maybe make it to the end. Where do you fall on the confidence scale compared to me?
I'm going to go with Jared Wishon, definitely. Everyone else better do what Jared Wishon's doing.
There you go. We'll see what these drivers think they have to do to get the win here at Chicagoland. Will this even be the run to the checkers? One caution might fix all the problems here. Back underway. Wishon does not get fired off very well on the outside. Justin Michael is clear. Up to second. The door was open for Gino Morrow. Can try and get underneath the Michael, but he's up to third regardless as Patton and Wishon now side by side for fourth.
Michael, a brief look to the bottom.
Morrow a little bit free there. Now has Patton to his inside. Man, a couple of drivers chasing it down the track, down the backstretch. I think that was Mike Milfelt to the outside of Greg Mall.
Boy, Morrow on the hunt. Already past Michael, now eyeing up that top spot.
Bobbling a little on that right rear, but he's got good pace. Plenty of grip right now. Has to lift a little bit. But we'll try and get it underneath the Lehman here, down into the tri-oval. Justin Michael's got him stacked up behind him. Wishon, Poughton,
there goes Foudy.
Oh, Foudy into the wall, big time. And that is the caution that everybody needed. A pit stop here will do you, unless you think you could save it under this caution. Right as I started fumbling over his name, Foudy. So that's Stoveprice Jr. underneath of Foudy trying to cut underneath of Patton, who slips right up in front of the 26. Foudy, I'm not sure, realizes where Price is or doesn't get the call that he's to the inside either way. That sends Foudy careening into the outside wall. And that is certainly a race ender for the TRD 26. Let's go on board here with Stoveprice Jr. I mean, Price is a little bit high there on quarter entry, but he's not moving up the track. I think he's just trying to get a little bit of an arc, a quarter of the lane off the bottom. So, pits are open. Gino Morrow is coming in. Michael with a pump fake, and Morrow is the only one from the top 10. Zachary Groover from 17th. Logan Murray from 22nd, and a few others. Bill Paradise, Billy Bumgardner, Chris Voiles are in. Nathan Carroll in as well. So these guys will definitely be good on fuel. Now it's go ahead.
If my very poor asphalt racecraft is accurate, everyone else who stayed out should also be just barely good on fuel without saving from here on out.
Now, just barely gets us to lap 100. But, you know, third caution of the night right now. What about lap 101? Not saying it's going to happen. It's possible, though. Boy,
It's happened before.
there'd be some drivers that'd be in trouble if we had to go to overtime. Of course, we'd have to have one more caution at least for that to happen. But, yeah, one thing's for sure, and this is true. We will not. Oh, I was going to say we're not going to have any cautions next week, but we're just not going to have technically any caution laps next week. And that would be because we're dirt track racing next week. The dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yes, we are.
Excited?
Very.
Well, the big breaking news, of course, I don't think it's been made any secret that you'll be leaving the booth next week to go participate in your first Max V Truck Series race. But special guest in the booth next Thursday night. One night only here in Max V. Matt Williamson will be back in the booth with me.
I'm partial, but I think that's going to be the best race of the season.
Well, it certainly could be a favorite. It also could be a really good race. See who decides to come out to play. I will say the Max V boys don't particularly love the dirt. I just think that makes it that much more compelling because they're all the most competitive people that we know, and they're all going to gut it out whether they like it or not. So it's going to be a blast. Just as this run to the finish is going to be a blast. 26 laps to go at the line. Lehman and Michael, Wishon and Patton, Price and Haynes, the top six. Fuel is noodling around in the back of everybody's minds here as we're back on our way.
Lehman with a good start. Wishon right there behind him. Stove Price Jr. now gunning for that podium position. Here comes Patton as well. Patton with a run. Rob Haynes around the outside with a run.
Patton's just kind of been lingering in the top 10 tonight. This is his first real shot at a top 5 running position. He's inside of Justin Michael to try and solidify fourth. Now Michael with company to the outside. Haynes has got his nose up there, but Michael shuts the door. A little bit of a shorter run than what we've seen. I would imagine Michael will be on it a little bit more than we've seen him thus far.
Yeah, definitely not wanting to go backwards quite as far as he has previously. Don't look now, but 7th place is number 7, Greg Mall.
Mall working it behind Haynes, Patton, and Michael. As Wishon getting worked over here by Stove Price Jr. for second. Michael slides up to cover 2 lanes, and Price slides up to take over second from Wishon.
All this swip swapping, and Lehman is still in the crosshairs.
For a guy that did not have much confidence coming into tonight, Lehman sure has led a lot of laps. Oh, Mall into the wall. Quite a bit there out of 4. Here's what Heath Smith sees on his hood. It's a lot to be settled here as Patton will fall in line behind Michael. or behind Mall, rather.
All still running that upper line.
And here is Stove Price Jr. looking to take over the lead of this race from James Lehman. He's inside of a truck length now.
Oh boy, Maul
That was
down the track behind Patton.
Here goes Price. Price walking it up the track, trying to pull back on that left rear quarter panel, but Lehman's got enough momentum to bust through. 19 and a half to go. Lehman rim riding around Chicagoland.
Lehman has run the bottom for all of the previous stint and now up to this point. Last corner going back up to the wall, so maybe a little bit of defensive drive in there from the 50.
It certainly worked. It was one go for Price, and that was enough for Lehman to get back out by a quarter of a second. Wishon in third. Haynes and Michael now side by side for fourth. Alex Hallenbach in the top 10, doing a nice job tonight. In the top 10, quite a bit of this run, or this race rather. Oh, is Haynes into the wall big time. Keeps it out of Patton's door, but Haynes going to start to drop positions here as he continues to go backwards to 7th now with Heath Smith and Mike Milfelt looking to the inside.
Both of those drivers up from far in this field, 27th and 29th respectively.
Haynes back through on Mall. Now Mall with Heath Smith to his outside. Smith coming off his first top 10 of the season. It's been a rough one for driver one. And really just Highline Racing in general, outside of a win for Charlie Widener. Of course, they're down Widener now. Milfeld and Smith have just had no luck this season. Mall now back to 9th, getting worked over by Alex Howland. These things have stabilized towards the front of this field currently, but Price is starting to make a little bit of inroads back towards James Lehman. He's got him back to a truck length now with 15 to go. And don't look now, but Jared Wishon and Justin Michael are both slowly climbing their way into the mix here.
I only think we're in for a pretty aggressive shootout for the last 10 laps.
Price again hits that about a 1/10 of a second bubble and starts to back it up. Oh, Lehman into the wall, though. And now the top four are scrunched together, coming to 13 laps to go. Lehman under fire from Price as Wishon and Michael are in the fray. Here we go.
Wishon to the top.
Wishon having to go on offense and defense here at the same time. You do not want to let Justin Michael get through. Wishon dives to the inside of Price. Lehman again bouncing it off the wall in 3 and 4. Vachon has got Price. Now is going to go for the race leader, but still Justin Michael to the outside. They're 3 wide for second.
Oh, boy.
And Wishon with the side draft just getting sucked backwards. Michael now will have the advantage on the top side. Clear on Price. And looking to get through to second. Justin Michael
to the bumper.
The big loser there is still Price, who will jump from second back to fourth. Michael up to second. Vachon still in third, and now it's only 0.3 of a second. Lehman was hoping to hang on to a second-plus lead for as long as possible, and now it is gone, and he keeps finding the wall here out of 2.
And I think through all of that, the biggest winner is Scott Patton. Now the top 5 all within a second.
Patton with some big lap times here. And he is the caboose on the train now. Heath Smith not too terribly far behind either, but 10 to go. 15 miles left in this one. In regulation, Michael going to send it up to the top side, looking for a big run. Michael into the wall. Still carries momentum down the backstretch. But any sort of contact in dirty air, and your truck is going to loosen up. It doesn't need to get any looser.
Price Jr. very, very loose. Up into the wall as well. Patton going to track down the track with him.
I don't know. That was a block on Price. I think that was more him pulling the car down the straightaway to try and save it, but now he's right in Patton's path, and Patton is going to pull out the cow catcher there and send him up the track. Patton with an emphatic move up the track to block off the 29 and try and get some momentum reestablished. As Patton now is 2 seconds behind the race leaders. Michael has dropped back to Jared Wishon again, coming to 7 laps to go. Maybe trying to get these tires back in an operable temperature range.
Heath Smith now breaking into the top 5 around Price Jr. Milfelt looking to do the same thing as Price is loose off the corner yet again. Boy, that 29 is a handful.
Yeah, Price used it up early, that's for sure. Now just trying to hang on for the next 6 laps. It's James Lehman now no longer rim riding it. Oh, and the caution is out. Mason Sweet is around in the tri-oval backwards against the outside wall. And I don't think we're going to overtime, but boy, we are not going to have many laps left. This changes everything. Sweet battling with Omar Rodriguez Jr. for position. I believe that was for 14th. You can see Sweet is, he is hanging it out, tracking it up from the inside wall to the outside wall. Rodriguez, right as Sweet tries to get it straightened out, gives him a little love tap as Sweet came right into his path, and around goes Sweet. And I think he'll be the only casualty of this caution with 5 laps to go. Just got a notification that James Lehman went off the racetrack. Not sure what happened there. Oh, yeah, Lehman was slowing down for the pace truck and went down into the grass a little bit. No harm, no foul.
I think he might have accidentally shifted all the way down into first.
Ooh, well, got away with that one. Here comes everybody except for Justin Michael. Oh, he was going to be hoping that more people stayed out, I think. That is going to be tough.
I think that one might bite him.
I think so. Zachary Groover and Billy Bumgarner, who came in under the last caution, also are going to stay out. So that's a little bit of a buffer here for Michael. And this outside line really has not been firing off that well. So it'll be a 2-lap shootout for whoever is going to pull off a pit road first. And it's going to be Greg Mall with a 2-tire stop. Mall wins the race off. Everybody else will take 4. Lehman out second. Patton out third. Wishon out fourth. Heath Smith out fifth. But will restart tentatively in 8th. As Justin Michael, Zachary Groover, and Billy Bumgarner are your top 3. Well, is 3 trucks enough of a buffer for a green-white checkered? That's the question.
I think it depends on how good of a restart Michael gets and how poor of a restart everyone else gets.
I mean, there's no doubt in my mind if Zachary Groover and Billy Bumgarner don't stay out that he is a sitting duck. So now, it's how quickly can Mall get fired and move to the outside of Groover on just right side tires? Or how quickly can Patton and Lehman on 4 tires split the field here? Or how quickly does the entire field crash and we go to an overtime proper? That's certainly in play as well.
I think we could roll a dice and have just an equal chance of any of those happening.
The nice thing is, in about 30 seconds, we won't have to roll anything. We can just roll the footage. We will know for sure. Certainly some nervous drivers at the front of this field. Zachary Groover and Billy Bumgarner fighting for postseason spots. They've not had particularly outstanding nights. They would love a good finish here. Would just love to keep it clean and green and maybe eke out a top 10. It is a natural green-white checker. Justin Michael, Zachary Groover, Billy Bumgarner on old tires, and Bumgarner! Oh, dear.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
I mean, it'd be easier to tell you
Greg
who wasn't in
Mall.
this. Greg Mall, Rob Haynes, Matt Sisler. Oh, dear. Going to overtime for sure now. Mike Milfelt was involved. That was exactly what we feared. I'm not sure if Billy Bumgarner's tires were spinning already, but he got a shot from James Lehman. And after that, there was not a chance that those 5 trucks' tires were going to grip up. Let's take a look at it. I mean, Lehman is lagging back just a little bit. I mean, he gives Bumgarner a shot, and that truck is immediately entirely out of whack and straight up into the quarter panel of Zachary Groover, and it is absolutely on from there. Milfeld is around. Patton up into Mall. They both make big shots to the wall there. They're both going to be in trouble. Rob Haynes is in trouble. Sisler through the grass. Marrow through the grass. Alex Halland is going to sneak through this okay. Joshua Fracker, Stove Price, Logan Murray, Jack Watts, they get through okay. I mean, man, that's unfortunate. Let's go on board here with Billy Bumgarner and listen to the tires here. Listen for the shot from Lehman as well. I mean, that unnatural lurch forward is all that it took to break the tension on the surface tension from the tires to the asphalt. And that truck was not going to be controllable right as he went to put the pedal down. Let's take one more look at it here from somebody that's a little bit further back that seemed to get through it okay. Here's Logan Murray's perspective from the Kickbot cam. Egats. Here's what Gino Maro saw. Now that is a handful. My man racing on a joystick with those hands. Holy cow. Well, this does a couple of things. It clears the way for James Lehman now, who will be on the outside of Justin Michael, presumably here for our first of 3 attempts at a potential overtime. Greg Mall, despite the damage, will restart on the outside of row 2. Billy Bumgardner, the same. Scott Patton and Jared Wishon, the same. Heath Smith was in there. Omar Rodriguez has been wanting a top 10 all season. He is in line for one currently. Brandon Groover, Stove Price Jr. round out the top 10, but it's going to come down to Lehman v. Michael again. At the front of this field, again, Michael and Bumgardner on the older tires. Mall with rights only, and Lehman, who's led the most laps tonight, on the full, fresh. Two laps to go. We'll see if it goes a little bit cleaner than last time. Base truck is off. Go ahead.
Definitely keep an eye on that third row, Wishon and Patton, as we are away. Michael, enough to get the lead.
Lehman in line straight away. Here they go 3 wide behind them. Bumgarner going to be caught in the middle with Wishon sailing through underneath.
Oh, we're wrecking again.
Oh, dear. Oh, man, big shots there. And that's Joshua Fracker, Brandon Groover, Chris Voiles. Oh, and they're still wrecking. That's Chris Sargent into Stove Price Jr. and Nick Pena. Man, this race got chippy in a hurry. So 2 separate crashes here, one of them under the caution. As we'll try and see what we can see. Oh, we were just talking about Omar Rodriguez there in the 85 truck, and if I'm not mistaken, oh yeah, that spoiler is bowed in. That is big-time aero damage. He's going to have a hard time holding on to this truck, and I don't think he's going to be able to. I mean, that truck is breaking loose in an instant. Down into the door of Alex Howland. Looks like Howland is going to be able to continue. But I mean, Rodriguez is suffering at this point now. Will get collected by Brandon Groover into the door of Jack Watts. Parker Donaldson, I think, is just going to sneak through there. And then Rodriguez, pow, into the outside wall. Fracker's day is done. Brandon Groover's day is probably over as well. Trent Drum just going to sneak through here. And then while all that is happening, another driver that is on the cut line, Chris Sargent, just barely is going to get tagged by Logan Murray as Murray is trying to get underneath the disabled truck of Stove Price Jr. Let's back up to see Price Jr.'s involvement in this one. And he is actually ahead of Alex Howland here. Underneath of Heath Smith, Price is going to get loose. Off the door of Maro. And just completely disabled at that point. And then Sargent going to go from the outside wall to the inside back off of Stove Price Jr. Ay caramba. So now that is a heat cycle on James Lehman's tires, and not only that, Lehman is not the race leader. It's still Justin Michael. Now, the other concern here is fuel. We are now well over the advertised distance. We've had a couple of cautions thrown in here, but I mean, cautions don't add fuel. They just reduce the amount that you're using. I think Michael's going to be a little light in the tank here. He's certainly outgunned in terms of tires every direction. Jared Wishon, when he got through on Billy Baumgartner, was charging up in a hurry. He would love to steal one back from Michael after Michael took one from him at Dover earlier this season.
Based off of the restarts that we have seen, Wishon may be in the best possible position to make that happen.
Certainly Lehman, even with the fresher tires on the outside, that outside line is not firing very well. Wishon with much fresher tires. And will be starting right behind the leader. So he will have an opportunity here to make something happen. Matt Schlosser popping in the chat right at the right time. Here is overtime attempt number 2 at Chicagoland. Justin Michael, James Lehman, Jared Wishon, Greg Mall, the top 4. 2 laps to go. That is the best restart we've seen from the outside yet. Wishon is rolling. Lehman is rolling. Michael outmatched on tires. What does he have for defense? Lehman going to take it to the wall, and it's going to open the door here for Wishon to plow underneath of Michael. Caution is out again. Zachary Groover at the back of the pack, and he's the only one that's around. And I think Justin Michael was still the leader at the time of the caution as we're headed into our final overtime attempt. And I hate to say it again, but it's a bone I've had to pick with, various tracks across various series. It differs from track to track just based on the coding, of the sensitivity of when the cautions are thrown. But how was Nathan Carroll's crash on the first lap not a caution, and that was? Groover never even came to a full stop. I don't get it. Groover at the end of the field already. Oh well. One of these days, somebody will listen to me for my racing and get it straightened out. Unfortunately, this is going to bring a couple of drivers down pit road that I would imagine are probably a little bit light in the tank. Maybe put in the wrong amount of fuel or didn't put in any fuel at all when they came in to take tires last time. Mason Sweet, Alex Howland. Howland, that takes him out of the top 10. So he'll try and bust back through the field here to try and cap off what's been a good night for him.
I gotta be wondering how much Justin Michael still has left.
I can tell you right now, that truck ain't running. It can't be much.
My lap counter, understanding we have cautions, but my lap counter shows 43 laps since his last pit.
Yeah, we were thinking 30 to 33 laps. Even with, 3 cautions, which would be about 8 laps of caution. Yeah, it's we're running out here. Michael knows it too. I mean, he's barely using any gas here. It's going to be a miracle if he can even bring it home, let alone bring it home with the dub. So now we're in our third attempt at an overtime here. So any caution from here on out will end the race. It will freeze it at the time of caution, assuming that everybody is still under their own power when they come to the checkers. So this is how they line up for the final 2 laps of the night, guaranteed. Justin Michael and Jared Wishon on the front row. Wishon couldn't have been more than a whisker out of the race lead when the caution came out. Wishon will have to fire from the outside. It'll be James Lehman and the debuting Gino Morrow on row 2. Scott Patton and Greg Mall on row 3. Billy Bumgarner and Heath Smith on row 4. Parker Donaldson and Jack Watts on row 5. Bumgarner, remember, stayed out with Justin Michael, but also has topped off since Justin Michael. So a little bit more fuel in the tank for the 5 truck, but still in a similarly precarious position here. Michael on much older tires with no fuel left. Can he hang on for a miraculous victory here tonight in Chicagoland? He fires. We're back underway. Sudden death overtime here at Chicagoland.
Wishon with a good enough restart to keep him in second. Morrow going to take over the 3rd position. Oh, Rob Haynes is around.
Caution is out, and that will be the race. Now, Justin Michael still has to make it around.
Oh, Greg Mall just got turned into the wall.
Oh, dear. What has happened here at Chicagoland? They're
Charlie
still
Milk
wrecking.
out to the wall.
What is going on at Chicagoland all of a sudden? This was almost a caution-free race. So Michael pedaling it, hoping to have survived here. He will certainly be able to make it to the pace truck, but he's got to make it to the stripe. We'll take a look at the accidents here in a moment, but this is pivotal. The race under the caution to the stripe, and Justin Michael has enough. Michael takes Chicagoland. The gamble pays off unbelievably for Justin Michael. It's another runner-up for Jared Wishon. And Gino Morrow in his debut this evening will round out the podium. James Lehman and Scott Patton round out the top 5. At least for Patton, the 30-plus streak is over. He's back to his top 5 ways. And the good news is everybody made points up on Dakota Floyd this evening. As Floyd was not in action. I can't imagine that Michael will have much fuel for a burnout. That's just a guess, though. I've been wrong before. And I think that was it. Mason Sweet doing a little burnouts for Justin Michael, I suppose. But for the celebration, that's it. And now, before we get to the full finishing rundown like we normally do, we have to take a look at what brought out. I think this is only the 2nd time in channel history this has ever happened that we actually use all 3 attempts at an overtime, and the race ends under caution. Unfortunately, it doesn't actually show me what brought out the caution. You had mentioned, I believe, Rob Haynes was involved, though, and then as we cut right to it, we could see Haynes into the wall. Got to find a little bit of a better angle than this. I guess we'll just roll with this one. Okay, so Haynes. He's already loose. Up into the wall and around. And you mentioned as well Greg Mall under caution getting turned as Heath Smith turned Parker Donaldson into Mall. That was strange. That takes Maul out of the top 10. It takes Mike Milfelt out of the top 15. I'm not quite sure what to make of that. However, the race is official, and we'll hopefully get a word in with all three of our podium finishers here in just a moment, as it will be the second win of the season for Justin Michael. Maybe. There we go. Michael will be back on top for the first time in a number of weeks here this evening as he takes the improbable victory at Chicagoland. Jared Wishaw, a bridesmaid again. Gino Morrow will round out your podium finishers. All three of them are waiting in the waiting room. Fourth for James Lehman, Scott Patton in fifth. Billy Bumgardner will finish in sixth. Heath Smith in seventh. Jack Watts, Parker Donaldson, and Bill Paradise, the People's Champ, sneaking in for a top 10 at the end of the night. How about Matt Sisler in 11th? Kerry Cleaver in 12th. Nick Pena in 13th. Alex Hallen 14th. Mason Sweet in 15th. Trent Drum, Joshua Fracker, Zachary Groover, Omar Rodriguez Jr., and Mike Milfeld, your top 20. 21st for Chris Sturgeon. It's 22nd for Rob Haynes. 23rd for Greg Mall. Logan Murray in 24th. Steve Price Jr. in 25th. Brandon Groover, Chris Voiles, Nathan Carroll, Seth Foudy, Michael Van, and Tyler Granat, the 31 drivers that took the green flag here this evening. Well, I don't even know where we start after another wild night. I don't know what's been in the water of late. But I guess we could start with Gino Morrow, who will take a podium in his debut tonight with the Max Speed CNC Home Designs Truck Series in a very wild night at Chicagoland. But certainly Driver 71 was a fixture towards the front of the field all night and will take the podium. Congrats.
Yeah, man, appreciate it.
Well, I mean, this was a weird one, to say the least, especially towards the end. But, I mean, especially in the middle of the race, or maybe right after that caution that came out right around the time of that green flag pit stops were going to start. I mean, you seem to be in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I mean, all race long, the track evolved from top, middle, then top again, and then bottom. And it was just feeling like full throttle for first maybe 10, 15 laps. And then you were just throttle controlling it on the bottom through 3 and 4. And that's where all the speed was. And top two were definitely making it work. That 87 was fast. I mean, I was ripping the top lane trying to get him, and I only got about 0.3, 0.2 near him.
Joshua, what you got?
Man, congrats on the debut podium, being up here with us in the booth. I mean, you mentioned the lanes and everything. What is the lane choice here? How do you make that decision on where to run throughout the stint?
Definitely if the right front pushes a little bit. There were several drivers four-wheel sliding and just either plowing tight. That first run, I was definitely loose with the right rear, and I was just dropping backwards like a rock. So I was just watching the leaders and watching everyone behind me, and most of the rubber was on the bottom. And sometimes you had to work the seam, and sometimes you had to kind of go to the top and hope the wall grabs you in a good way, not the bad way you fall to 20th, but definitely great track evolution. This league's great. My first time here. All the leagues I run, we would be in there like 20th caution by the end. So it's definitely a good league, and I hope to race it more. But got to thank Turf War Graphics for making my truck for this league about 10 minutes before the session went up. And yeah, it was amazing.
Well, glad you had a good time here tonight. We'll look forward to talking to you more down the road here, but go celebrate after a hard-fought one here tonight.
Hell yeah, thank you.
All right, we will talk to Jared Wishaw, who will come home runner-up here this evening at Chicagoland. I would imagine, I mean, we didn't really get a crack at a full overtime there, but, I mean, that 17 truck was rolling really well up until the yellow laundry decided to come out.
Yeah, the second one I thought we was going to have a shot. I mean, it was like maybe a tire width from us being in the lead when the caution come out. But on the third one there, even if I got by him, I was going to run out of fuel in 3 and 4 on the white flag. So the only hope I had to win was get by him, and then a caution come out in 3 and 4 on the outlap there. But so really the caution, I didn't want it when it happened, but I wanted it if I got by him because I wasn't going to finish second when I ran out. So I guess in the end, I got a better finish with the caution.
Joshua, what you got?
Man, congrats on the podium yet again, being back up here with us in the booth. I mean, it was a pretty steady race for you. I mean, inside top 10, top 5 for almost the whole race. And then, I mean, just chaos in the last, well, what turned out to be the last like 10 laps. But I mean, walk us through your thoughts as the green white checkers kept coming.
Yeah, I was kind of happy there, finishing. I think I would end up third without them, and then I thought it was over on the first one there. We got in that wreck, but somehow had no damage on the truck. So I thought we was in trouble again. We restarted behind the 5 because I know we had older tires. I didn't know how he was going to launch, and then we got by him and was sitting in a really good spot there, and just needed that second one to go just a little bit longer green, and we'd be one spot better, but. It is what it is, I guess. I'm happy to come away with a second after being up front pretty much majority of the race. I don't think I had anything for the 50 straight up or the 87, but it was nice to at least be in the top 5 majority of the night and be up there.
Certainly another podium for you here this evening at Chicagoland. Congratulations, and let's get some shout-outs in.
I'd just like to thank Diecast fans for being on the truck again. Let me run the pink truck in October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And thank you guys for broadcasting and letting everybody see what we do every Thursday night, and all the league admins for putting this on.
All righty, partner. Thanks for the time. We'll hope to talk to you again next week.
Thank you.
It feels like it's been a hot minute since we've had Justin Michael up here in the booth. And I mean, I feel like the good rule of thumb always has been never to stack the deck against Justin Michael, because it's the old Jimmy Johnson rule. I mean, you can never count him out, even when it seems like an improbable victory. You find your way to the top of the box tonight. Congrats.
Yeah, I think that was all luck on that one. I don't know if I took tires and fighting them, fairly. I don't know. Maybe we still would have got them, but. There's a lot of yellows and just past history at this track. I figured we never get green for a full lap, so it worked out in my favor. Although the 17, Jared almost got me there on that one restart.
I mean, talk about maybe the size of your eyes when you realized you were going to be the only driver that stayed out, coming to a natural green white checkered, and then seeing just 2 drivers pull up behind you. I mean, that had to be a little bit of relief.
Yeah, it definitely helped give me a little buffer there. But as soon as I saw everybody going into pit road, I was like, I've made better decisions in my life.
But I mean, I know we didn't ever get really a full lap in any of the 4 green white checkers that we had. But obviously the fuel became an issue there towards the end as well. I mean, there was a lot working against you.
Yeah, I'm glad that was the last one, because I wouldn't have made another one. That's for sure. I ran out of gas doing the burnout.
I was going to say, we got 1 rotation in the burnout. That's 1 more than I thought we were going to get. Joshua, what you got for the race winner?
Man, congrats on the win, being back up here with us in the booth. Oddly enough, the last time we spoke with you in the booth, it was also prevailing over Jared Wishon. I mean, I know you have been a part of Max V for quite some time, and we have a lot of rookies this season as well. I mean, what are your thoughts as we near into that cutoff date to start the chase?
Well, I mean, I think we're locked in with wins, so right now it's just going to be go out and get some trophies. Probably won't happen next week because it's dirt and
come on.
So if I'm in the top 30, I'm happy. So, but I don't know. A lot of these guys are good. So Jarrett's good. Gino's new. He's good. Just looking down through the list. So, it's going to be a tough season next year. That's for sure.
It certainly was quite the fight here tonight as well. We didn't even talk about, you playing the tire strategy throughout the night so well, and giving yourself 3.5, 4.5 second gaps up to the lead, and just being able to just carve through the field after about 10 or 15 laps of tire saving. I mean, it was masterclass, and we expect that from you. Just got a little crazy there at the end to sort of overshadow the effort. But it's still a win nonetheless here tonight. Great to have you back up here in the booth, and let's get some shout-outs in before we let you go.
Yeah, just you guys for calling a great race as always, and all these guys up front for running really clean. We definitely appreciate that, and wish it would have been different circumstances where we could have really raced it out with all the bandit guys out there. And yeah, we'll and Kerry for sponsoring the league. So we always appreciate him, and we'll see you guys next week. I probably won't be up here next week because I'll probably be turned over on my roof.
Well, we'll look forward to it either way. I guess it'll be something. So, thanks for the time here tonight. Go celebrate the win, and we'll talk to you again here soon.
Thanks, guys.
Oh boy, he's laid out the gauntlet for himself. Maybe he won't be the only one next week. We'll see who else can find their way onto their lid. But we're in your bread and butter next week. We're dirt tracking at the dirt track at Charlotte. That'll be a fun one. Tonight was the tale of two races. Really good racing there until the end, and then it was an absolute cluster.
Yeah, it was definitely panning out to be a pretty interesting race for Yule Save, but pretty interesting turned into very interesting, turned into very chaotic. So definitely an interesting way to end out a very calm Chicagoland race. But I mean, I'm partial to next week, so I think that's going to be a better race than tonight even.
Well, it's going to be an exciting one for sure, as tonight was exciting and interesting all the way through, but for very different reasons. Thanks, everybody that was hanging out with us here tonight. So sorry to the Carroll gang that Nathan got taken out early. That was quite unfortunate, but I appreciate everybody hanging out with us throughout the course of the night. Thank you to the Moticheks, as always. Thank you to Bailey and Robin. Thank you to Lisa and Danielle. Skylar Sparks. Not sure if I said hello to Skylar or not in the broadcast. I apologize. And Nathan hopped into the chat there as well. And Matt Schlosser and Kyle K-Bash for hanging out with us as well. Thanks to everybody that is supporting Turn 200 in the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series. Thank you to CNC Home Designs as well. If you need a home built in Central Florida, Kerry Cleaver's your man. Give him a call, and he'll get you hooked up with whatever you're looking for. Some upcoming events here on Turn 200. Next Tuesday night, the Venom Truck Series is at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Catch us there at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. The Daredevil Series next week. Oh, God, we're at Legacy Pocono. Yes, that will be something. It always is. We're back in the Promised Land next week at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. And that will lead us to the Wildish Dirt Track Challenge next Thursday night. Don't miss it. We'll have heat races, 60-lap feature, Matt Williamson in Booth 200 with myself, Joshua Motichek making his Max V debut. And it'll be a blast. So we'll hope to see you here 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time next Thursday night. Thank you to the Max V admin team as well. And thank you to Mr. Joshua Motichek. That's all we got for you tonight. Till we meet again from Chicagoland Speedway, I'm Tommy Cook saying so long and congratulations to Justin Michael, the improbable long shot winner at the end of it all with just a drop of fuel to spare. Have a good night, everybody. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.